What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Hussle. Yes, it's the best money and credit channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So whenever I drop new sauce, new lessons, new methods, and giveaways, you'll be the first one to be notified. You'll be the first one to know what's going on. Hey, you might be the first one to win something for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell so you won't miss out on nothing. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. All you gotta do is put the title on every video. Once you put the title on every video, at the bottom in the description, all my social media links will pop up. All right, got a lot of fake King Hustle pages out there, so please get a FaceTime verification call or video to make sure you see this face. Make sure you are doing legit business and you are getting what you paid for, right? And before we get anything started, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. So let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Hey, what to do, my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, my real Hustle Nation Empire family members. And we are back at it again with the gems, back at it again with the sauce, back at it again with the information that's going to turn you into a boss. So you tired of being a zero? You ready to be a family hero? Listen up, take a seat, get your notepad and get your pen, because you already know. When I drop these videos, y'all get them notifications. There's gonna be some information that's gonna help you win, keep you informed, or keep you entertained. So you know how we've been getting down on this channel over here. We've been talking about the new bank scams, the new bank fraud methods, the new scam tactics that's been going on. They got regular people getting into this world and starting to become scammers and fraudsters. And believe it or not, people are actually making money getting into this world. People are changing their life getting into this world. And people are also changing their life going to jail getting into this world too. So a lot of people just think that this world is full of free money, easy money. It's just giving out money like a toy giveaway or something like that, a food drive or something. It's nothing like that. This world consists of people who utilize their brains in certain ways to come up with certain tactics, to perform certain methods to obtain money. And the average American can't even spell their name right. So I need people to really start understanding that the scam and fraud world is just not no place where it's just free money. People come up with these elaborate schemes and fraud methods over a span of time. But also remember, and also know this, and a lot of people don't understand this, and I say this all the time. Y'all like my pink Balenciaga hat? Let me turn this to the side. A lot of people don't understand this. Wherever there's money being made, there's going to be some type of scam or fraud being committed. And that's because there's money being generated. And if money is being generated some type of way, people are going to figure out how to obtain this money in ways where they don't have to give the money back and it's just free money for them. So people find ways all throughout the day and create methods and make money. Scammers and fraudsters. Now, with these banks, there are a lot of loopholes and a lot of people, first of all, people have to really start understanding why I keep turning. People really got to start understanding the difference between scams and fraud, because knowing this knowledge will help a lot of people stay safe and not become victims of these crimes. So a lot of people out there thinks everything is a scam, when in actuality everything is not a scam. Hold on, yeah, my bad. Hold on. Stay be acting up. Everything is not a scam. You got scams and you have fraud. Those are two different things in the same world. Just like you got people in the basketball world. You got power forwards, centers, point guards, small forwards. They all on the court, but they all do different things. So you wouldn't expect the center to do what the point guard does, because they have all have different jobs, but they're in the same team. So that's how that works. Scammers, fraudsters, and hackers. Those are three different people in the same game. So scammers are people who social engineer, manipulate, or trick people, victims, into sending their own money. So there are people out here that are committing scams, coming up with elaborate schemes and telling people certain things to have them send their own money or do certain things to get the money. Then you have fraud, which is when somebody utilizes somebody's identities or somebody's information to get into their account or do something under their name to obtain funds. That's fraudulent activity. And then you got the hackers, who are basically the people who get the information to sell to the scammers and the hackers. So the personal information, the credit cards, the debit cards, the fake IDs, the social security cards, the birth certificates, fake checks, all these different things is database information from different places. This is what the scammer gets and presents on the dark web and sells for people to come by. So they're the information people. So people have it's a lot of people who don't pay attention, who don't follow instructions because one, for the past 10, almost 15 years, we have been getting scam calls, scam likely calls from different people, scammers, Indian scammers, African scammers, text messages, you name it, from different scammers portraying to be different places to steal money. And at first, it started as an overseas scam. Now it's become a national scam. Now young kids, adults, regular people are learning this method. And the method is they are becoming basically spoof calling victims, acting portraying as there are a bank. They might portray there are a Coinbase or Cash App or a Chime or a PayPal or anywhere that presents that transfer that has a place for money where people have accounts. And they act as if they are the fraud department. Now, the method has evolved. Every method has evolved. To at first, people used to just go on the dark web and just get random fools, random profiles, and just send out random text messages to people about acting as if they're the bank fraud department. And we all done probably got random text messages saying, "Hey, are you trying to withdraw such and such from this bank?" And you like, "I don't even have a bank account with this bank like that." That's clearly a scam. And that's how it first started. But as the world evolved, new people entered the world with new brains and new ideas and new point of views. New hackers have figured out that okay, instead of just getting random fools, I don't know why I just turned like that. Instead of getting random fools, let's start focusing on detail. So they start getting different banks databases. So they might get a Wells Fargo database, a Chase Bank database, a different people database. Basically, the database is people who bank with that bank getting their information, their fools and profiles. So now this person knows their number, their name, all this different information, their last transactions, all different type of stuff, right? So once they buy this information, they might buy 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 different, very different amounts at a time. Most people are cheap, so they probably buy 5, 10 at a time. So they get these this database information. They download a spoof app. Now, just like how we would send out group text messages to the same text message to different people in a group chat, they're doing the same thing with the app. So they're inserting all the numbers and they're putting in that one text message and then sending it to all the phones. Now, by these people actually having a bank with whatever bank that they're portraying to be, the victim on the other end is going to be afraid. It's going to be alert. It's going to have a sense of urgency. Now, this is another thing that they're doing. They're starting to target older people, elderly people, because these people mind is not where the average young person or a person of the under 45, 50 is, right? So they know they're going to have a better chance of getting a response out of the older or elderly people because first of all, this person is by themselves, this person doesn't know any better, and they're very vulnerable. In most cases that we see when I do these reaction videos or do these cases are elderly people. So they target these elderly people because they know they're going to the response rate is going to be higher. So they send out this group chat, then people start texting back, no, 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 no. Because these people are under the impression that this is their bank that sent it in a text message. And once they send out they text back no, the scammer sends back a text message like, okay, our fraud department will be in contact with you shortly. Hold on, y'all. We'll be in contact with you shortly. So they call the victim in probably a minute and say, hey, and by them having the full credentials and the full details of that person's account, they're asking this person certain questions. Hey, did you withdraw $17 at this gas station? And I'm like, yes, I did. Did you do? Yes, I did. So now they're mind they're playing mind games with the victim because now the victim is under the impression that this is really the bank. Because how would anybody know this personal information like that but besides the bank? And this information was from the bank card that I use. So now the sense of urgency and the realness is starting to kick in. So people, once they get that from the person, now they know they got the person under a string like this, like a little toy. And once they get to that point, now there's different methods when they get to that point. You see, it's always a different method when you get to a different step because the different things that different people do. So you got some people who trick the people or the victims into just taking out their money and going to buy gold bars or certain things and having people or going to pick up the money from the person saying, okay, we're going to have somebody from the government pick up the money to place your money into a safe place. They a lot of times they have people go get gold bars and pick up the gold bars and say, hey, we're gonna put this in a safe government place to keep your money. And elderly people, mind isn't all the way there, or older people, mind isn't all the way there, so they fall for it. And then you got the people that say, okay, we need to change your passwords, your login credentials, and things like that because, like I said, they got those text messages say, hey, are you trying to wire transfer $2,000, $3,000? Hey, are you trying to spend 5,000, 500, $1,000 at Best Buy, Target, Walmart, different places? And they're like, no. So now this is the thing right here. By that person having a bank account with that bank, an actual bank account, we that person has a debit card and that person has gotten a text message from that bank that says we will never text or call you asking for this information every time. So by the victim's mind being in a whole sense of urgency and fright, they're not thinking about that. And this is where the scam comes in at. So they're acting as the bank. They say, okay, so we need to change your login information. So what is your current username? They give the scammer the username. They say, what do you want to change it to? They give the scammer the username they want to change to. But the scammer is actually logging into the victim's bank account. So then they get the password. So now they're in the account, but they got that one-time password. And by them acting as if they are the bank, by them logging in and getting that and sending the verification code to the victim, they're telling the victim, like, okay, we're going to send you a one-time verification code. Can you give us that code? And this person is believing that because they really just got a code from the real bank. But this is the thing: when they get that code from the real bank, it's saying at the bottom of the text, "We will never call you and ask you for this information or text you for this information." But they're not paying attention, so they give people the information, the code. Now, once that victim gives that scammer that code, that one-time password, the bank is no longer responsible for what goes on after that because all these things are set up for security database for security reasons. And on the other side, looking at it from the bank's point of view, it looks like this victim is the person who's logging into their account because they got the password right, they got the username right, and they got the one-time password right, and it got them into the account. So they don't know if this person is trying to pull one on the bank. So by this happening and it being in the bank's agreements and terms, the bank doesn't have to pay back that person that money. And a lot of times the bank doesn't pay back people their money because we do a lot of these videos and we saw see the banks don't like paying back the people the money until the news people get into the situation or get into the picture. Because banks don't want to be portrayed as an institution where people go to hold their money and keep their money safe, but they're allowing things like this to happen. So a lot of times when we watch these videos, that we always get the same spiel. The bank didn't want to refund the full amount or any of it. Then they contact the news to go contact the bank. The bank start refund every time the bank gets a contact the bank. They can always use their money. I know, right? So they perceive as if this institution is doing what they need to do to help the people. The bank is out of something. Not the bank want their money. That's not the bank is going to do what they got to do. her Wells Fargo account from this scam right here, this new scam that's become very popular. So, with that being said, let's check it out.
The federal government is warning about imposter scams taking
Mm.
billions of dollars from people.
It's
Those
getting
scammers
popular.
pose as your banker, retailer, utility company, anyone you trust to get at your money.
Yeah, it just happened to an East Bay school teacher as the school year was winding down. A Wells Fargo imposter swindled her out of $20,000.
It's a huge loss, obviously. And worse, she says her bank, her real bank, didn't try to stop
Banks
it.
don't try to
On
stop
your
it.
sides, Michael Finney is here with her story.
It's just heart-wrenching.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable. This teacher had just finished classes for the year when the imposter struck. In the middle of the scam, she actually drove to a Wells Fargo branch hoping to stop the thieves. Instead, she says the bankers told her they were too busy.
Too busy?
Complete and utter panic.
And Boris still feels the sting of the scam.
I had tears running down my face. I was literally shaking.
It happened as Anne's students were finishing final exams. Her cell phone rang. The caller ID said Wells Fargo Bank.
I'm calling from Wells Fargo. We're investigating, some fraud that is going on right now. Are you trying to wire $20,000 from your savings account? I said, I am not.
A man on the phone told her she'd better wire the $20,000 over to the bank's.
And this is becoming very, very popular. People are getting a hold of these profiles, these different databases for these different banks, and spoof calling people acting like they're the bank. Because some of these apps can use a voice changer and sound like a lot of like different people. So it's getting real tricky out here. And these type of people are the ones that's falling for it.
Fraud department where it would be safe.
So I said, okay, let's walk me through this. And then when that was done, he said, there's another wire fraud transfer coming in right now in the form of $5,000 from your savings.
So Anne followed instructions and wired $5,000 more.
At this point, I see the money leave my account. And he said, no,
That's kind of
it's
silly, though.
It's in our fraud department.
Then the man said someone was trying to get another $3,500 through her Zelle account and believed him.
I just panicked that someone somewhere in the world had access to all of my money.
And drove to the nearest Wells Fargo branch with the man still on the phone and told a teller someone was attacking her accounts. Silently, the teller warned her the thief was actually the man on the phone.
And mouthed to me, it's Wells Fargo, and I started to panic.
Pleaded with bank employees to stop those wire transfers fast, but to her shock, no one would help.
I'm sorry.
And that's how the banks go. The banks don't be wanting to help people because the banks know what they got to go through. And the banks put it like this. The banks like, man, we warned y'all already. And y'all playing the victim. Like, why we got to be accountable for y'all not being adults and paying attention to what we warned y'all about and what's in our terms and agreement. That's how the banks is here. And I feel the banks.
Backed up with appointments.
And that's like people saying, I'm not finna pay attention. I'm finna do whatever I want to do. And then when they do something that they want to do and something happens, they play the victim when they could have just listened and none of this would have happened.
It's back to back. You need to go to another branch, but we can't help you here. I was dumbfounded. Like, how can you not help me?
You have a woman who's in the process of being defrauded with tears coming down her eyes, and you send her away?
And raced across town to another branch.
It took me a ton of time to get through the traffic and the road work that they're doing on Crow Canyon Road.
A banker at the other branch saw her in tears, responded quickly, and managed to stop the $5,000 wire transfer. But the $20,000? Too late. It was gone. Wells Fargo denied Anne's claim for reimbursement and called her to say she authorized the transaction.
He was just like, no, sorry, Wells Fargo would never call you.
You authorize it. And that's how I see it. On the other, like I was just telling y'all before earlier in the video, on the other side looking in, it looks like the victim is authorizing these payments. They don't know what's going on.
You just called me from Wells Fargo.
We asked Wells Fargo why bankers said they were too busy instead of trying to stop the fraud. The bank did not respond exactly, but said, we strive to do all that we can to support scam victims. We take these situations seriously and provide options, including our fraud team contact information.
You send her away. Yeah, that's what disappointed me the most.
These
People gotta
scams
do a
use
better
a lot of
job of
tricks
using
like fake
common
caller
sense.
ID. Remember, the caller ID you see on your phone is easily fake. Never trust it. Also, you've got to verify who's really calling you. Your bank will never ask you to wire money for any reason at all. If you hear that, it's an alarm bell. It's a scam. Hang up. Don't wire money, because when you wire money, you can't get it back. It's
You
already
can't
gone.
get it back.
It's so they get you going. You take.
And that's what's been going on out here. A lot of people have been coming up with elaborate schemes to have people wire money, get gold bars, do these things, and these things are scam and it's not fraud. And the banks warn people about this, and they still do it and play the victim. And like I said, I'm not saying it's a tricky situation because yes, the banks do warn you, yes, all that, but then after you gotta understand, people be caught off guard with these type of things too. They mind not even the right place because it seems like it's the real bank, but then again the banks warn us. So I don't know. So with that being said, it's just all about being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware of what's going on in this real crazy world that we live in. These type of things got to be implanted in your head so you won't become a victim. So you get these text messages, you be like, nah, nah. Let me call the bank to make sure. I ain't even gonna respond. So make sure you guys are getting your Norton Lifeline to monitor all your personal and financial and social media accounts to make sure no suspicious activity is going on. And then a monitor the dark web to make sure all your none of your personal information is on there floating around being sold. Make sure you guys are freezing all three of your credit profiles, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experience, so nobody can get anything in your name. No loans, credit cards, lines of credit, no apartments, no cars, no nothing, not even you, unless you unfreeze it. So make sure you guys are freezing those. And make sure you guys are getting new credit card, debit card numbers every so often. All right. We use these cards all day, every day at different places. We use the same card for years. And every time we do, that information is stored in a database. You get a new card, you got a fresh start. So if it was a compromised, leak, or hack and that your old information was on there, you'll be safe because it's no longer valid. All right. So make sure you guys are taking these steps to stay more safe, stay more cautious, and be more aware in this real crazy world that we living in. And I'll see you at the next video. All right. So shout out to all my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, because without y'all, there'd be no me. Y'all motivate me keep going. Y'all motivate me keep dropping this sauce, and y'all motivate me keep y'all entertained. So shout out to all of y'all. Anybody out there is tired of being broke because it ain't no joke? Let's get to work. FaceTime one-on-one limited gyms are $1,000, but for limited time only, I'm doing them for 600. Yes, 600 Cash App or Bitcoin payment. Once the 600 is on your Cash App or Bitcoin balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know your payment ready, and we will go from there. All right, no screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions, and please do not yell me. Make sure y'all booking y'all seat on the the webinars Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 250. Make sure y'all booking y'all seat on the crypto tour in person limited gyms, 3,500. Make sure y'all booking y'all seat on the month long mentorship, $1,000. Make sure y'all check out my vendor platforms on Telegram and the Potato at Millionaire Networking World. Still looking for people for the production company. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the notification bell on my YouTube channels, my Twitches, my IGs, and TikToks. Make sure y'all checking out the crypto world because it's changing people's lives. And make sure y'all get in and y'all fit in with these load ups. All right, 120 and up, Cash App, Bitcoin payment. Once it's on your balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know your payment ready, and we're going to go from there. All right. And with that being said, it's your boy King Hustle. Y'all know how I get down in these videos. I will see you at the next lesson video or live. Peace.